Within the city there was no man who questioned them of their business or sought to stay their journey. There were many men, but each seemed to live in his own world, taking knowledge of no other. They smiled as they passed, but it was a smile of the lips only, for their eyes were full of dreams, and everywhere was peace, and the fragrance of flowers, and glowing sunlight, and pleasant shade. There was no sound of hoof or axe or hammer, no stir of haste, no whisper of unrest. On that peace and stillness the tread of mailed feet broke with startling sound. "But here's no danger of arms," said the knight in a little while. "Therefore I may sheath my sword." "Nay," said the old man, "keep thy sword drawn. It hath another use than warfare. Some may see it and remember." Then the air of the city enfolded them, and it was a shroud of warmth and sweetness and languor. The knight breathed it, and for a moment rejoiced in it, but in a little while he felt the weight of his arms, that they oppressed him greatly. Never had that stout shield seemed so weighty, the mail so cumbersome, and when he looked, he saw that others had felt the same oppression, for no man in that city bore arms. Some of them had the bearing of knighthood, but they had doffed their armor, and went about lightly in silk and linen. So presently he said to the old man, "There is no danger here, and the air oppresses. I will leave my shield, therefore, and other pieces of my mail, and take them up when we come back this way." "Nay," said the old man, "for then thou wouldst never come back this way. What but an evil spell would rob thee of thy arms?" Then the knight remembered how he had won his arms, and how they had served him nobly and well, and a hot shame burned him. And when some of the dreamers saw him, tall in mail and helm, with the shield of the emblem and the shining sword, they stood and gazed, filled with wonder and with troubled thoughts. And there were some who were roused from their dreams in this way, and later came out of the city and continued their journey. Yet a little while, and our knight came to the place of glorious vistas. He saw far before him, yet not so far, a path that led over the eastern hills, and at the end of that path, a city more fair and glorious than any that man had ever seen. Its gates and walls, its pinnacles and towers shone with a radiance like unto the light of the sun, and it was so great in extent that the eye might not measure it. And ever up the shining path were the knights of the splendid way, to be welcomed at the gates by guards in glowing white. Above the wall of the golden gate flew a banner of pure white, bearing an emblem worked in gold, the emblem of the great king. So glorious was this vision, that Sir Constant was fain to pause, but the old man rebuked and forbade him. "They all see these things," he said, "all those who are lost to the royal service. Seek one vision only, for that is the vision for thee, and on to save thy friend." And even as he spoke, the vision passed like a mirage, for at the words the knight had called back the vision of the face. There was nothing where the vision had been save the trees and flowers of the city and its unceasing sunshine. After this there were many enchantments, both of thought and sight, but our knight denied them resolutely, keeping ever in his mind the vision of the face. They also met some who would have begged him to enter their house for rest and pleasure, but here his guide was his guard, for when the citizens saw the stern old man, they turned aside and went their way, making it plain that he was no welcome guest in that city. So they came without hurt through the sleeping streets to the house of Ardent. It was a spacious house, and its gardens looked over the city wall to the plain beyond, bounded by cloudy hills. The door stood open, and there was none to stay them. So the old man led Sir Constant through the house to the gardens. On every hand was the beauty of the city of good intent, and flowing tapestries and rich paintings, and flowers of many hues and many perfumes. Our knight saw paintings and the tapestries, and wondered, for the dreamer who dwelt here had adorned his house with all the glory of conquest. But there was nothing that spoke of dust of the way, or the heat of the sun at noon, or the fainting heart that fears the morrow, yet holds grimly to the rugged path. Only was the story that the pictures told. They found Sir Ardent in an arbor in the garden, resting among wealth of flowers. He lay like a child after play, but they were sorry playthings that were strewed beside him. A shield discolored by damp and dust, with little of its emblem left to see, a sword half drawn, showing the blade rusted and ruined. A noble helm so marred that no man might wear it without shame. All his mail was there, but it made so graceless a sight that Sir Constance's heart burned for it. As for Sir Ardent, he lay smiling and looking over the city wall to the hills beyond the plain, and in his dreaming eyes were visions that no other man might see. He saw Sir Constant, but with neither wonder nor welcome. "Is it thou, old friend?" he said. "Gladly will I welcome thee when I have seen all. But wait a little while, for this glorious scene must not be lost. There is the splendid way, changed to a wide white road at last, and shaded by palms and orange groves. Far off, but yet not far, are the gates of the great city, where a banner flies, the banner of the great king. Can you not see?" But Sir Constant could not see, for there was nothing but a dreary plain beyond the wall. "O Ardent," he cried, "this dream of thine is an evil spell that must destroy thee. Awake and arise ere it be too late." But Sir Ardent heeded not. "Hearken," he said, "far off upon the way walks a knight, a good knight and true, his shield upon his arm and his mail bright and shining. Never once hath he failed or faltered, and now the great city lies close at hand. He lifts his eyes, and his heart leaps for joy. Then out from the gate they ride, a noble cavalcade, guards and servants of the king with golden chains and many laurels. They cry the name of the traveller with great acclaim, and the name is Ardent." Now Sir Constant gave a cry of pain and sorrow. "Nay," he said bitterly, "there is no city, there is no knight. Dry and barren is the plain, barren are thy dreams. There is no glory for thee, for thou art but a foolish dreamer with rusted arms. Awake, and come with me." But Sir Ardent lay unheeding, and still he heeded not when Constant took the ruined shield and held it before him, and took the rusted sword and laid it upon his knee. Still he gazed upon the vision that was not, and dreamed the dream that could never be true. And the old man said, "Bitterness is of no avail. If he may be reached at all, it will be by another road." Sir Constant knelt down at his friend's side, and took his hand in his own, and he spoke gently to him of the days of long ago, when they were squires together in the hall of Sir Fortis. He spoke of the goodness of that old knight, of his mercy and his courage, and then he spoke of the dreams that they had dreamed together, of the comradeship which had joined them, and of the help that they had given the other in the practice of arms. And Sir Ardent seemed to turn for a moment from his false dreams, for he looked into his friend's face with softened eyes, and clasped his hand with nerveless fingers. But he was not awakened. Then Sir Constant spoke of other and greater things, of the chapel of voices, and the armour lying in the evening shadows, and the casement looking eastward, and the stout heart that had won through to the morning. When he spoke of these things, the eyes of Ardent came back from the vision of the plain, and found his friend's eyes, and there remained, a little dreaming still, but with trouble growing in their depths, like a shadow on the sea. So Sir Constant spoke on, still keeping his hand upon him, and told of the star that came to the head of the casement. He told of the glory of the star, how it grew in the darkness until it seemed to be a jewel in a thorny crown above a face divine. He began to tell of the face, how it looked upon the knight kneeling in his vigil, and of the wonderful love with which it looked, a love that no man may measure. He said all that a man may say of that love, for no man's words may say all. And at the end he pleaded that his friend should remember, and go once more to seek the vision of the face, so that the love in those eyes divine should not be mocked and fruitless. "For though my love for thee is great," he said, "it is but a shadow of that love, and he who loves thus is waiting, waiting for the strong knight who went forth for him. Surely he shall not wait in vain." Now long before Constant had come to an end, the face of Sir Ardent was changed, its foolish smile was gone, and the last of the dream had vanished from his troubled eyes. With an awakened mind he followed the story, and trod once more the path of the lonely chapel, knelt once more by the silent armour, looked once more for the star in the casement. Thereafter he sat with quivering lips in silence, but listening intently. So the face grew before him, and the love in the eyes, the love which may not be measured, and once more the glory of the vision swept over him, and drove his false dreams away forever. Then he gave a great cry, "Oh, my Lord!" My lord!